So China have just yet again impressed with another AliExpress brand making possibly the best dress watch for $100. I mean, this thing is just incredible quality. We're talking great specs, good finishing, a lovely design and a decent bracelet, all with an automatic movement for just barely more than £100. Question remains the same though, should you bother getting one? Before we talk about the specs though, we should talk about the history and branding, or kinda lack thereof, because everything has a trade-off, right? And the thing with these AliExpress brands is that they're extremely well made and extremely well spec'd for the prices. However, the history for most of them is non-existent, and the branding is usually pretty bad. I mean, come on, Pierre Philippe? Really? Did you have to call it this? You couldn't have just called it a Chinese name? That would have been much nicer. It's such an obvious homage to Patek Philippe that it feels almost silly. It's like calling your brand Bolex. It's a little bit too far in the homage name category. It's just a little bit too close. That aside though, at least it sounds decent and looks good on the dial. It is also good to mention that this watch is another piece from Merca, which is an umbrella brand that also makes Pierre Pauline and the Pierre Philippe like we're looking at today. Now, I've reviewed some of their stuff in the past and I have been very thoroughly impressed. Good finishing, good specs, good proportioning, very wearable, generally really good, price ranges. But the main thing with them is that you're getting all round a good package when it comes to specs, with very good finishing for a very low price. If it were up to me though, I would definitely trash the whole Pierre Pauline and Pierre Philippe thing and just stick with Merca. It's Chinese watches, you don't have to try and make it sound like it's not. They're well made. People respect Chinese watches these days, at least those in the watch industry. And very quickly before we move on, I just want to say we are doing a giveaway for the Pierre Pauline at 7,500 subscribers. To enter, just like, sub and comment the hidden message in the video. It takes you 3 seconds, costs you nothing and helps me out greatly. Anyways, starting off with the dial, possibly the coolest dress watch dial for the price, with a black and grey sector dial, along with a sub-seconds hand rather than a central seconds, which is also dropped down, with the rest of the dial looking raised because of that. The hands are sword leaf shaped, that sort of thing, and they're polished on either side, and we have some lovely Breguet style indices with numerals on every hour. Overall, the dial isn't bad. I mean, it's actually really good, but what do you expect? I'm not 100% sure, I haven't seen the reference this is an homage of, but I'm assuming it's going to be probably a sector dial Patek Philippe Calatrava from the 50s, 60s, maybe 40s, that sort of era. The crystal is hardlex, and though no AR coating is actually listed on the website, I'm gonna say it does have some because it seems to decently do a good job of not reflecting light in your eyes, and in certain lighting conditions it does seem like you can see the dial very well. Sapphire is of course preferred, but for a watch of this price and more specifically this style, where it's going to be worn to formal events and not to the beach as such, I think that is acceptable. The bracelet is the same as all these lower end AliExpress brands. It's okay. Right, the finishing is decent, the links aren't too loose, it's comfortable on the wrist, but I will say that there's nothing particularly stand out about the bracelets here like you get with San Martin or Ixendao. They're still definitely very good. I mean, it's probably about equal in terms of quality to your lower end Seiko 5, which range in the 200-300 sort of price range, so it's still definitely a very good value proposition. It's just not something particularly notable that you'd want to mention. The movement is the ST17, an ETA 2824 clone used by pretty much every AliExpress brand you can imagine. It's usable, not very well finished or pretty, which is why I don't personally understand the open display case back here, but it's reliable and accurate enough at 3Hz, 38 hours of power reserve, and about 15 seconds a day in terms of accuracy. To make things really simple, it's a less reliable and less accurate ETA 2824 or SW200 or Powermatic 80, since those all have the same base. I'd say it's more accurate but less reliable than an NH35, but probably better than a Miyota 8000 series. All in all, it does the job, but it's not great. Size wise, it is 38mm with a 45mm lug to lug and a 9.5mm thickness. This means that it's very wearable for many different sizes of wrist, although I preferably would have taken a 36mm variant because I just prefer the way that wears on my wrist. I like how it looks small, not undersized but also not correct. It looks a little bit too small for your wrist. I just like that. Packaging wise, this piece is actually surprisingly good as it comes with a travel case. It's green and false leather, and honestly it's not amazing or anything, with stitching that's slightly off and such, but it's pretty damn good to get along with the watch for that price, and it definitely adds to the value if you decide to buy it. Last but not least, in fact probably most important, we have finishing. And this piece has very good finishing on the case, with polishing on the lugs and circular brushing on the bezel, with normal brushing on the sides. Overall, it is really well done for the money, and if we aren't looking at other Merkur watches, I'd be hard pressed to find another dress watch for just over 100 quid that's of this high quality when it comes to finishing. So what do I think about the brand? Well, if you're talking about the actual brand that produces the watches, that being Merkur, I am very impressed. Now, I love Merkur because I've reviewed a few of their pieces. They are all very well spec'd, they are all very well finished, and they are all very lowly priced for what you're getting. You have nothing to complain about there. They're proportioned well as well. They're just really good value propositions, which usually do make homages, although they have a few original designs. I really do like the Merkur Hill, which is what I'm doing the giveaway for, and also that Merkur alarm is beautiful. But if we move on to my issues with this watch in particular, it's definitely the branding. Like, Pierre Philippe just sounds so dumb to me, like they're trying too hard to be something they're not. Similar to homage watches, I guess, but in a way that doesn't really work. Again, it's like calling your brand Bolex, it just doesn't really work. But other than the name not being a very good pick in my opinion, the only issue I could say I have is that it should have come in a few more sizes, and maybe come with a leather strap either additionally or on a leather strap, as I just think it suits way better on leather. Just quickly before we go on to the end of the video, I do want to mention that we are having a partnership with the Watch Out Discord server. This is a community oriented server based on watchmakers and collectors alike, full of passion and free of snobbery. This place is great to go if you want to make some friends in our nerdy little niche, or want advice on anything watch related. Even I'm there if you want to talk with me. They do also host regular giveaways, so that adds to the value of joining as well. Of course, it is linked in the description. So the verdict for this being the coolest and best dress watch for anywhere near the price range, well, again I'd have to say, if you're not looking at AliExpress or Chinese brands and you're only looking at the first-hand market, no second-hand, you don't get better than this in the price range in terms of finishing, in terms of the design, in terms of the wearability, in terms of the specifications. You're not getting something like this in the price range anywhere else first-hand, right? It has to be an AliExpress watch for something of this quality, and this one, at least in my opinion, is probably one of the better designs and one of the better made pieces in this price range on AliExpress. It's proportioned well, it has an appealing design, it's thin and wearable, and it's very well finished for the price with a mechanical movement. If you like the look of it, I'd say go for it. This piece passes the test.